municipalities in South Africa are owed over 50 billion rand. Debt levels like these mean a risk to service delivery. The Financial and Fiscal Commission is proposing new taxes to help organs of state to generate more revenue. One of the suggestions made by the Commission is to implement additional vehicle and transport levies, which they believe are an attractive revenue source. Under this tax banner are additional levies on parking fees, sales tax on motor fuel and on tolls. Well, to give us reaction to this is Wayne Duvenage, the Chief Executive Officer of the organization Undoing Tax Abuse. Wayne, when one looks at the solution to the problem, one must go back to the problem, and we need to ask, is the reason why municipalities are failing to collect revenue because the revenue, the revenue that they can get out of their different municipality is too low, and therefore it creates a small base to be working from anyway?
Yes, look, I mean, that the report from the Financial and Fiscal Commission is a comprehensive one. It's a good one. However, we don't believe that raising taxes is the solution here. You know, there are far bigger issues and problems in local government that need to be addressed. When you talk about lower revenues, as the Auditor General said, about 60% of revenues will not get to the bank accounts of municipalities. That's a combination of poor collection processes, poor debt management. There are capacity issues in local government, bad financial management, corruption. And I think we've got to start fixing the problems before you start adding more taxes to an already overstretched and stressed tax base.
Are you convinced that should these different levies be implemented, that money is going to go to where it needs to go? So what's going to be the difference between that money versus the other government money that has gone down to municipalities but has not improved service delivery?
Well, exactly. This is the exact issue. We say don't increase taxes to an overstretched tax base when your money is being wasted. It's like you've got all these leaking pipes. You've got a bucket that's leaking, and instead of fixing the holes and plugging the holes, you think, well, the only way to get over this problem of less money is to try and put more money on the top of the bucket. Well, it's going to continue to leak. So we need to identify, and there's a lot of good work with Parry and the Fiscal Commission, the Finance and Fiscal Commission, that shows where the problems are, and what we need to do is address those, fix them. The capacity is a big problem, and the wasteful expenditure. We see it every year in the last 5 years, this growing problem in financial management in municipalities, the incapacity issues. And I think that's where the problem lies. You know, we're already overtaxed in many respects, and just to try and add more taxes and find more loopholes. I mean, the tourism tax is already taxed at a national level. Fuel is taxed at a national level. To try and add more taxes onto vehicle owners, which pay VAT, fuel levies, import duties and so on, it just doesn't make sense.
When it comes to being able to fully capacitate municipalities, what do you think the government should be doing in order to try and help those, especially those that are dysfunctional and distressed, get out of the current situation that they're in?
Well, you know, Treasury and government and many organizations have done a lot of work over the years. If you read the report, you'll find that they've had consolidation of municipalities trying to get the costs down. They've put in additional capacity. 500 million rand was thrown at this problem over a few years in 2013. And again, after that, they put technical experts in to these municipalities, and yet we still have the same problem. I don't think government, at a local government level, is taking their role seriously. We've accused COGTA, especially at the provincial level, of not exercising oversight. You'll see a case like Makana, for instance, where the residents win a case against the municipality and have it disbanded. And then COGTA goes and tries to appeal those cases instead of listening to the residents and fixing the problem. They're not doing that.
One also gets the sense, Wayne, that there isn't enough political will to do the dirty work of having to, number one, remove the officials that are serving at local government level, who are there only to service their networks of patronage, but are in fact doing and adding no value to the actual structure of municipalities, because unfortunately that's how far deep the problem goes.
Yes, absolutely. You know, local government is made up of three spheres and they're all connected. They need to work in unison. The first is the political, the second is the administrative, which run the towns, and the third is the communities. And what we've seen over time is that the communities have just been cut out of the equation, very poor public engagement processes, and the politicians have hijacked the administration for their own cause and unjust expenditure, wasteful expenditure. So I think that's where there's a big issue that is required, is remove the political influence in the administration of local municipalities, involve the communities to find the solutions. The problem is every time the communities want to get involved, as we did recently saying to local government, don't go for salary increases when you have a tax base that is reducing. The pressures on the taxpayers in local communities is extremely high. You need to find ways to reduce your costs as opposed to just increasing the costs. But they won't listen. So now they have this continuous problem, which is getting worse every year.